All right, audio should be a little bit better. Guys, I apologize for any of the sniffling that you may hear. It's actually super cold in Las Vegas. Something people don't quite realize about the desert is it gets frigid. It's like 40 degrees here. I feel like I'm back in the Midwest. So, wanted to guys just walk you through briefly a little bit about me. Guys, I am a online personal trainer and wellness coach. I think that's the label I'll go with, right? And right now I work as a VP of sales at an ad agency. I have been in the marketing and advertising space for 10 years now. It's hard to believe. 35 years old, came out of college. I mean, 10 is probably closer to like 11 now that I think about it, but time flies by, right? I just want to give you guys a little glimpse, by the way. We're at the top of Exploration Peak. It's got like this cool little patio-esque thing, big old circle. Look at the valley. Woo, man. I wish I could come up here every single morning. And I probably could if I prioritized it, but you know, during the weekdays, you gotta grind a little bit, right? So I'm going to make my way back down the hillside here and talk with you. But a little bit about me. So I grew up in good old Iowa, born Sioux Falls, South Dakota, northwest corner of Iowa in a county called Lyon County, right near the state line. So I had a country boy style of life. I was not necessarily a farmer, guys, but I was out in... How the hell do I get down here again? I feel like it's different. Before I stumble all over myself. Here we go. And I lived, you know, this kind of country boy style of life, surrounded in cornfields, getting outside, getting roughed up, getting dirty, drinking water out of the hose. We had horses growing up. And, you know, I look back at that time with very fond memories of where I grew up. I'm very, very appreciative of everything I had growing up, and very, very close to my family, lived close to my grandma and grandpa. Grandpa owned a tree farm, which eventually we took over under the family business. That is no longer around, which was always a sad day, but we move on, right? But, you know, like, just to kind of start bridging a few of the items into my career here, or my entrepreneurship, I was always a bit of a husky boy growing up. I'm sure, so I'm 35, Gen X, and some of the elder millennials, guys, we didn't have any of the level of information about nutrition and health, even understanding what calories and macronutrients were to the degree that we have right now. Almost to the point right now where we have too much information, and a lot of you don't know quite what information to actually apply to yourselves, which is why you should be talking to a coach, so that we can distill it. So my family genetically is big, and we can open up our debates about how much genetics play a portion in obesity and how much it's just purely the environmental factors. But with everything, I think there's always environmental factors and what is nature and nurture, I guess, in a way. So nurture being more of the environmental factors, and nature being inherently what is embedded within the code of your DNA. I watched Jurassic World the other day, but what was in my DNA is to be a big boy, to hold a lot of fat around my midsection. And but I won't make any excuses for that. We have an obesity epidemic in our country right now. Something like, I heard ridiculous statistics where it's like 27% of kids nowadays are like basically pre-diabetic. I mean, not just are they obese, but pre-diabetic, having problems with insulin sensitivity and all these other things. That's really crazy to think about. But, you know, like it was just, I was eating too much because we didn't know. And I remember, you know, a lot of us grew up with this, right? Finish your plate, eat everything up, go for seconds. There's even economic factors, guys, that I can think about where food used to be cheap. Hell, I mean, you go to the grocery store, you get a shit ton of food, you eat a shit ton of food, you have everybody over for parties. I don't know, sometimes right now it's like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna have a group event together. Oh, that meat's gonna cost $400 to get everybody fed. Okay, cool. Well, can you guys, it's gonna be more of a potluck style. You guys bring your stuff. But anyways, I was a football player. I was always an athlete. I was more, because I was a big boy, more of an offensive lineman. And, you know, I thought for somebody my size, I was reasonably athletic. But, you know, it's just always being that husky kid, always being that husky boy. It would mess with your degrees of self-confidence for sure. And I definitely went through periods of time where I was more focused on losing weight. But the nutrition aspect of it was something that was completely foreign. I remember like, oh, okay, I gotta lose weight. Like, I remember thinking that the way to lose weight would be like sandwiches, for example, which, you know, as long as the sandwiches are low calorie, I think it was like sandwiches and soup is what I was doing. And I knew something vaguely about calories, but I definitely didn't know what I knew now. I wish I could go back and find little Justin and help him out, maybe coach him a little bit. And then, of course, burying myself in cardio, you know, just lots and lots of running, which I never thoroughly enjoyed at all. To this day, I do not enjoy running. Do not try to get me to run. I only am running when something's chasing me. So, and as I, you know, kept along that path, had different periods where I was, you know, a little bit more huskier than, a little bit bigger than other times. But I got into strength training pretty early. Very seriously into strength training. I just ended up being a strong kid. So as much as I give my genetics shit for it being incredibly easy for me to gain weight and keep weight on in a frustrating sense, and keep it on in those awesome parts in the stomach and the low back for guys, I was blessed with a good degree of just being a strong fucking guy. So you know, kept going through high school, was a pretty darn good athlete, did get some, what do you call them, some honorable mentions for county and state, had for a little while had some conversations with some colleges about some scholarships, but ultimately, if you know me, I'm about 5'9", and unfortunately that's not a great size for an offensive lineman in a college football program. So I thought I was going to be a pretty big kid. I was about this height when I was in 7th grade. You think about, and you know, probably, God, not too far off on the weight. So I was a pretty big boy. especially when you're not in like a community here like Las Vegas or Texas, where you got all of those football players, all the most incredible young football players with all the greatest genetic potential, etc. But as I kept going through my life, eventually, developing a lot of problems and anxiety around my weight, which, if I could be honest, was not the worst in high school. I think I recognized that it was partly my weight. I think, problems with girls, like, I think, not that girls were the problem, just like a lack of self-confidence to talk to them. I had a lot of anxiety. So, see this? I'm a bald guy, right? I've never actually known what it's like to have a full head of hair, I think, as an adult. I think this thing was mostly on its way out by the time I was 19 or 20 years old. I definitely had even a widow's peak growing up, so you kind of knew it was going to happen. But I remember being so anxious about a variety of things that I would just literally pull my hair out. And I think about it now, and it's like, damn, I was accelerating this hair loss by sitting in study hall, literally just pulling my hair out of constant anxiety. But everybody deals with their own things, and mine growing up was a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and then being overweight. I think where it really manifested a lot of problems with my self-confidence was when I went to college. So in college, was once I stopped, being an athlete and having those periods of time where I was exercising consistently, the training camps, not knowing anything about how to properly eat, and being exposed to the Minnesota State University Moorhead lunch hall, which was actually had some pretty damn good food when I go back and think about it. What do they call it, the freshman 15 or whatever like that? I mean, I probably had the freshman 20. And already being a bit bigger, that kind of kept going on. At the time, I was with a long-term relationship for girlfriends. I was probably a little bit, fat and happy with that. I had no real reason to change a lot about myself. Funny enough, she was going to school to essentially be a trainer or a physical therapist at the time. And, why that didn't correlate into something, I don't know. All I can say is life is just funny the way it works out sometimes. So kept on gaining weight throughout college. So let you guys know right now, I am just a smidge under 190. I kind of alternate between 185, 190. I'm trying to get to single digit body fat, which I think I'll achieve right around 172 or so pounds. Trying to do the math around that. I not doing all, I have body calipers and stuff that I'll show you guys how to do, but that's kind of my estimate for right now. I think I'm sitting anywhere from 12 to 15% body fat, so just gotta push a little bit more to get closer to 10. And hey, I go all over the place with these. I'll get better, I promise. But kept on going up in weight, guys. By the end of my time in college, which I was a Bachelor of Fine Arts, which for anybody that doesn't know that, usually does take an extra year or two, and it does involve an internship program in order for you to get that. That's at least how it worked at our college. I was all the way up to 280 pounds. I remember lying to myself saying that I was 240. I was telling people I was 240. Even though I had looked at a scale every once in a while, and then I went into the doctor one day for, I was just sick or something, I had a flu, and the doctor was like, okay, cool, 280 pounds, that's pretty big, you should probably consider losing some weight. And I was like, holy shit, here it is, the doctor telling me that I'm too damn big. Oh boy. And that, that brought up a lot of things. So my family's got anxiety problems. My family's got depression problems. My family's got alcoholism on both sides, and then obesity. I had kicked a little bit of alcoholism, I feel like, in college, where I was doing a lot of binge drinking, but the binge eating was out of control. I remember guys like crushing pizzas from, I think, this place called Pizza Patrol. I think it was Pizza Patrol. That, by the way, that pizza was so fucking good. It was like a French bread crust pizza. Listen to the fat kid come out right now. French bread crust pizza, the spicy kind of sauce, tomato sauce, way too much cheese. The pepperoni was always just very thin and very crispy on top. Man, I'm going to go back to Fargo, North Dakota here soon, just so I can get some Pizza Patrol. But, so there it was. I probably had that multiple times a week. And funny enough, during this whole time, guys, I was going to the gym and training, like 2 or 3 days a week. Nothing too crazy. I knew how to fucking bench press, how to squat. Was not really doing too much regarding deadlifting. Some overhead pressing going on as well, but primarily squatting and bench pressing, doing a little bit of hypertrophy stuff with machines. But as you know, like, that's not going to burn a bunch of calories. That's going to retain and put muscle on your body. As long as you're getting enough protein. And at that time, I don't think I was getting enough protein. Definitely not optimal levels to where I would now with the way I'm training. But so there was 280, a variety of health problems, and here's what ended up happening is I would do pretty well, in my opinion. Well, my opinion back then, I would do pretty well throughout the week on what I was eating, kind of generally eating lower calorie and getting a decent amount of exercise in, where I was getting on the treadmill a couple times a week for cardio, and running there. But I think there was definitely enough to elicit at my size some weight loss and some fat loss for sure. So, but this is what would happen is on the weekends, I would binge eat pizza. What else did I go after? I think I went after burritos a lot too. Pizza, burritos, Buffalo Wild Wings, go there. I remember convincing myself that Buffalo Wild Wings was somehow healthy because it was like chicken. Like, this is the level of, and I say this knowing full well that that other people are like this too. It's like, oh yeah, chicken's supposed to be healthy. It's got like something, right? It's like lower fat or something. It's like, yes, chicken does have lower fat. But breaded fried chicken with sauces filled with inflammatory seed oils and just hundreds and hundreds of extra calories. No, that is not a good solution towards your weight loss. So, or maintaining weight, or just having general health overall. So there I was, I do that. And I had, with the binge eating problem, I knew afterwards the mistakes that I had done. I started developing actual bulimia. I would get done eating, guys. I would eat a whole ass pizza, feel so terrible about myself, and then throw it up. And I just remember, every time I get sick and I have to pray to the porcelain goddess, it reminds me of those times where I was there throwing up at the toilet. I know it's gross, guys. Just like even talking about it, trust me, it's gross just thinking about it for me, because it's not something I'm proud of, but it's something I'm sharing and divulging with you guys so you understand where I have been and where I came from. So I would do that. I'd eat a whole ass pizza or something like that, a giant thing of burritos, make a bunch of like pancakes, eggs too. I love pancakes and eggs, but I'd make a bunch of pancakes, throw that up, which is just, you want to talk about, it's similar to, it can feel a little bit like when you're in a drug addiction, feel a little bit like when you're binge drinking and you're sitting there drunk off your ass, especially if like you're alone. And just that terrible sinking feeling of how the hell am I ever going to get out of something like this? It's so disgusting. You're so disgraceful. Like you can't control the level of eating that you're doing. And this is what you're doing to punish yourself. I developed so many bad habits around the way that I was, thinking about myself. So I knew something had to change. What ended up happening is, I had an opportunity, and I'm not particularly close with this family member, but I was offered, when I was finishing college, I knew I had to do something different. I didn't really desire to stay in the Midwest and to just go back down this Midwest boy, stay in the Midwest, end up almost as afraid of looking and ending up like my family. Because guys, by the way, in the Midwest, it's everyone's big. There's a lot of big people. Everyone sits around and eats, and that's part of the culture. So I also didn't want to be restricted. I wanted to do something kind of cool and unique with my degree, get into marketing, get into design. I'm gonna go someplace exciting. So this family member offered. They were living in Las Vegas, and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I'd already visited there with my parents, and I had a great time. And so I came down here to Las Vegas, and anybody that's been in a completely different part of the country, anyone that's been in a completely different part of the country and in a new environment, you kind of notice things about the people, right? That the people are going to be different. I'm going to turn, we're going to go back this way. So I'm into the sun a little bit so you guys I'm not silhouetting at you. And damn, if you go from being in frickin' Fargo, North Dakota to being in Las Vegas, you notice what those people are like. I imagine it's, try going from Kansas City to Miami, Florida, right? Or out to LA. I mean, people here are pretty. People here make money off of being presentable, and looking great. I am going to go back down this way because then I go back around. Sorry, I'm going all over the place here. And so when I got here, it was enough for me to be like, it was enough of a kick in the butt based on that to be like, hey, I'm not going to be the fat, ugly dude. I spent all of college, I had some luck on things, but, I want to be attractive to the opposite sex, which is, of course, important for men. I am a coach for everybody. I'm a coach for females, but I can definitely empathize and sympathize with any of you guys out there that want to look good, right? And women want to look good too, but for a lot of us guys, when we don't have a certain degree of status or money, this is kind of a good spot for us to at least get started into attracting the opposite sex, is actually getting, building upon the foundation of those habits that are attractive, not just the body, but the habits of becoming better shape is attractive itself. Everything that you gain there. So habit formation and, what's the right word that I'm thinking for? Your ability to just do tough things. It's obvious when you see somebody that's in shape. It's like, hey, they take care of themselves. There's a lot of great qualities of that type of person. It shows consistency, shows grit, determination, etc., etc. So I get here and start losing weight. Lucky enough, I was in a pretty good ecosystem where there was also health and fitness that was more forward in the household, was more prominent in the household. So I had a good ecosystem around me, a good support system around me. And I tried every damn diet that there is. So I would probably say right now I'm not a keto advocate. It's very much for me an energy equation, and eating however you love to eat that will help you stay consistent. But I lost the most weight on a ketogenic diet, going from the 280 down to about the 220 wasn't really too bad, and purely on keto was just about, hey, cutting out all carbohydrates. As I made my way down from 220, I kept on, keeping carbohydrates out of everything, but then started to learn a little bit more and more about training. So getting more strength training into my regimen, while also having understanding what fasted cardio was, getting more into running. Kept going down. At about 180, I was really starting to see a lot of success. And yes, I've weighed less than I weigh now. I actually had gone all the way down from the 280 mark down to 165. That was my lowest. So at 165, I was doing a lot of pretty crazy stuff. It was like I was an amalgamation of all of the memes of the mid-2000s fitness, Reddit and 4chan, eating almost pure protein, putting cheese on things, sriracha sauce, drinking tea all day, every day, so that, the fat burning effects of teas, using the ECA stack, fasted cardio, working out in a specific a way that would be quote unquote fat burning. But damn, I look back at when I was at 165 pounds, which, like, if I was at 165 right now, I would be like, maybe like 4% body fat, like something stupid, right? Like, maybe I should get there. I don't plan on being a bodybuilder, like a stage bodybuilder. I just want to get lean because I think it's going to be cool. And I think it's going to, help me show the clients, what it takes to get there. So, but when I got down there, me being a bald dude, I remember my beard wasn't real prominent back then. Not that it couldn't have been. I could have had a really gnarly ass beard from the instant that I was in high school, basically. I looked like I had leukemia. Like I was just a small dude, because I was still strength training at the time, and I think I was still making some strength gains even at that level, but I was definitely catabolizing muscle mass. And so then I started to be like, okay, cool. I've done my cut. It's time to do what weight trainers and strength athletes and bodybuilders do. It's time to go ahead and do a bulk. So when I came out of that, I started eating on a bulk, and I did a dirty bulk. And that dirty bulk, with my body being restrained at the way that was restrained, really put on a lot of fat very, very quickly. Now I got a bunch of muscle mass back. I got a crap ton of strength back. It was the first time I started deadlifting over 400 pounds, squatting around 400 pounds. Which, I was pretty darn stoked about that. At that time, I was really, really focused on starting strength, really, really focused on just becoming very, very robust. Oh no, my back has just a little bit of non-neutral, lumbar curvature. It's like, damn, I need to keep on working on my deadlift until there's no more lumbar curvature. I remember I was doing a more of a low bar style of squat position as well. So, but anyways, so I brought myself back up to probably like, 205, 210, something like that. Good about more muscle for sure. Good about more strength for sure. But so, and then really where I saw the most amount of success was when I switched over to being very, very diligent about my macronutrients and starting to really understand what protein, carbs, and fats do for the body. Having a better and better understanding of there not being a macronutrient that's necessarily bad for you at all, and things just being some sort of an energy balance. From there, I slowly built, small cut and bulk cycles until I was, not too far off from where I am right now, eventually going into joining a CrossFit gym. So I had gotten far enough along that people were like, hey, Justin, you're really getting in some good shape. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, what should I do with this? Because I have been doing what's, once again, the fitness memes. I have been doing what was called power building at the time, where I was more focused on doing big strength movements with some supporting hypertrophy, which is still, I don't think you need to call that power building anymore. I think that's a way that you should train, is always having the compounds lifts ingrained within everything. And then supporting it with, a variety of either unilateral or isometric style, isolation style of exercises. But went into that, and I ended up meeting somebody that was into CrossFit, for a relationship that was into CrossFit, joined that gym. That opened up like a whole new world of, hey, first of all, the CrossFit gym that I'm still part of, but I just don't train that way anymore. The gym and the community that I'm part of is incredible. By the way, guys, there'll be a shout out here for them, Project Fitness in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're a CrossFit athlete, hell, a bodybuilder, a power lifter, just any type of, if you want a great place to train when you're here in town, swing by. It's pretty darn close to the Strip. It's got great open gym hours. The coach, Drew Paulner, and Dimitri and Gabby, all the coaches, do an amazing job. It's a great gym. You guys should definitely stop by when you're here in Vegas, instead of, get your Dragon's Layers in, get a few of the, raw power, raw strength or whatever that's up north. Get into those places, but try Project Fitness out, which they're affiliated now, so it'd be CrossFit Project Fitness. But anyways, we have been working out there. I've been there for 5, maybe 6 years now. But our type of training style there was, yes, of course it was CrossFit, but really was focused on even strongman style, and being very, very strength focused. And it is under this that, hey, one of the things with CrossFit is, I think everybody thinks that it's like something that's for weight loss. It sure can be, out of the sheer amount of calories that are burned. And of course, if you're looking at your calories and you're making sure the macronutrient ratios are proper, you sure can lose weight with CrossFit. However, just like any exercise program, it's not the modality itself that is going to get you to lose weight. It's going to be the nutrition portions of it. So I had goals in particular that I wanted to achieve, and that's when I went under Drew Paulner's wing, and he was my nutrition coach for quite a few years, helped me really understand everything about, and I came with a good amount of knowledge, but Drew really opened me up to, especially about different types of food, the dangers of different types of food, what inflammation in particular can do for you, strategies around getting the appropriate amount of protein, strategies around getting meal timing even. It is under him that I started using more and more intermittent fasting, which is not a requirement by any way, especially for my clients. I don't say that you have to do intermittent fasting. I practice intermittent fasting on the weekends right now, so it's maintained, but I'm not doing that consistently just because right now I use it basically as this little kind of secret tool and secret weapon in my arsenal when I know that I get progress being stalled. So I like to use it on the weekends for a digestive break. But he was when we were working together, he was a big advocate of anywhere from a 16-9 to 16-8 or an 18-6 style of fasting schedule. And I had, it was eye-opening what fasting was doing and his nutrition did for me. I PR'd my front squat. That was the first time that I was hitting, below 15% body fat, and I felt really good. So, well, then Justin, why didn't you just keep on doing that exact same thing? And I did for a good while. But as I think anybody that gets farther and farther into this is like, hey, I really like doing this. I want to show other people I've made great progress on it. But then I went into basically getting a promotion at work. So I got a promotion at work. I had more and more responsibility, more and more stress going on in my life. And the combination of fasting along with the type of training I was doing, I was part of the competition committee and competition crew that all worked out together for our gym. We were pretty much, it doesn't really work, but we were doing very similar to the Mayhem program. I guess you could say it was kind of the spine or the backbone of what we were doing, which is competition level CrossFit athlete training. And it's super fun, but it also kicks your ass because you're training like you fucking want to be a damn games athlete, right? And of course you scale everything down just like as our how do you say, our methodology and our beliefs are in CrossFit. And CrossFit is not always about trying to do as much as possible and get people injured. It has a bad reputation for that, but no, you're supposed to be scaling exercises so that you can always get a good, safe workout in. But I noticed with all these different factors going on in my life that it was becoming too much. It was becoming very hard for me to stay on track. I was binge eating a lot because of the amount of cortisol, stress, the ghrelin being produced from it, and I was feeling more and more and more run down by the day. So I started trying to find solutions, and that's when I started working on, getting away from the CrossFit training, getting away from necessarily always doing a type of fasting, being a little bit more focused and efficient with bodybuilding on what exact type of movements I'm going to be doing. And, not just only bodybuilding, it's going to have, some powerlifting style, just the general compounds, right? And I started developing my own regimen, my own nutrition regimen, my own methodologies, understanding that what I'm doing right now is the way to keep stress, anxiety off, and also to burn fat and get steps in over the course of the day is with walking. So started learning all these different things and having a great amount of success, getting leaner than I ever had, maintaining strength, and managing my stress, from working 60-hour weeks, doing overnights, traveling more and more, because if you travel and trying to stay on top of your workouts, I remember trying to go to do some of my programming, or even to just visit different CrossFit gyms when I was in, and it was just, at least my body, it wasn't having it. It just could not do it. So that's when I started developing my own program, which I have been kind of leaning that direction anyways. Like fitness, health, wellness, it really saved me in a lot of ways. Gave me things to distract my mind that's always kind of depressed and anxious, and has, if I didn't have some sort of obsession with habit formation and trying to better myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and nutrition, if I didn't have that to kind of guide me on my life moving forward and improving myself, who knows what the hell I might be doing. I might be, cracked out under a bridge, might be drinking, might be back to doing, being bulimic, anorexic, whatever it might be, but it keeps me very much centered. And now I've expanded it out from, fitness, nutrition, into more mental health related items, into what consistent physical activity would be. So I started developing my own strategies, and I was like, hey, I bet this stuff is going to work for other people, because other people obviously want to look good, be healthy. Other people work corporate style of jobs, desk jobs, and other people want to not get the shit beat out of them and already have stressful lives. So I wanted to work on developing specific strategies for people, just like developing my own strategy had worked for me. And now, yes, my recommendations are going to be maybe like 60, 70, 80% of what I'm going to recommend for someone similar to me. But I love the challenge of finding something that's going to work for someone's unique lifestyle, their unique problems, their unique goals. And right now, the way that I affect change in the world at my corporate job is like, hey, I make a good sale, I start working with a client, and of course, like, if their advertising campaign does well, that business does well. The hope is that business owner is, able to achieve their dreams, their little slice of the American pie. However, tangibly, I wanted to do something that I could just feel with people, that I'm making a big difference in their life. And when I'm working one-on-one with my clients, and to hear them say, Justin, it's working. Look at my before pictures right now. I've lost weight. I'm eating more. I'm enjoying my exercises. I'm feeling less stressed. I'm excited about my day. It's like, holy crap. Because what am I doing? I'm helping them feel better about themselves, inside and outside. I'm helping them look better. I'm helping them with their relationships. Maybe husband and wife start being more intimate, more consistently together. Maybe a woman or a man starts getting more romantic opportunities for themselves. Obviously, a big thing is like the health markers. When I get someone telling me, I went to the doctor said, what have you been doing? And it's like, I've been working with this, this guy that's helping me with my nutrition and my fitness routines. And it's like, man, so we're improving health markers as well. Guys, it means the most to me, because, I think one thing, I don't want people to have to, and here I am at the arc of a 43-minute long tirade, right? This is crazy when I look at that. I don't want people to have to go through what I had to go through to get to where I am today. Let me be the one that had to do all that crap, right? Let me be the one that did all the different yo-yo diets. Let me be the one that experimented on this stuff for you, so I can give you the answers to what's specifically going to work for you. That's what I want to do. That's the change I want to see in the world, and what I want to be doing for people is to basically take all that information down, distill it into something very, very easy for you to understand and implement. So at the end of all that, that's the background for myself. That's the background for my program. 40 4 minutes is probably long enough to yap at you guys, as the kids say. But that is kind of the inception of Justin Harris, the online personal trainer and wellness coach, and my program, Health for Hustlers. So if you listen to all this, you said, like, God, he seems to speak to some of the problems I had. I'm having trouble figuring out what to do in my life. I'm a desk worker. I work a corporate job. I'm maybe an executive, or I'm just a busy parent, a busy professional. I don't have a lot of time. I also don't have a lot of energy and fortitude for doing these crazy ass workouts that are kind of demanded of me. Please reach out to me. I do have an application for coaching link in the description for this video. You can find me. My Instagram is justinharris.fit. I am working on the Health for Hustlers Instagram page as well. You'll see more information about that, but that is my, flagship program for my coaching. And if you're interested in learning more about me, you want to hear something more, make sure to comment there if you have questions. But I would really appreciate anybody that could, help out a small growing channel for an entrepreneur myself that's trying to work myself out of the corporate structure and trying to get out there to help you guys more, spend more time to help you guys out, have better lives. If you could comment and subscribe to my channel, would be greatly appreciated. Guys, this is kind of my motto on things. We are living in a sedentary world. We are living in a world that we really weren't meant to have, but here we are, right? Like, there's a lot of benefits, but there's a lot of negatives. I'm here to help you reclaim your health from all this. So follow along. This is going to be a fun journey. I want you to be along with it. I want to be along with it for you, for your health to improve. And let's have great days, guys. And please, if you made it all the way through this video, I am very, very grateful for you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.